There seems no end to India-US trade disputes. On one hand, United States may remove 25% additional tariffs on India by the end of November. On the other hand, Washington has opened a new front that might impact New Delhi. With the Modi-Trump meeting possible at the ASEAN summit in Malaysia next month, it seems the two sides will have a new issue to negotiate. The US administration led by President Donald Trump says it is withdrawing the sanctions waiver granted to the Chabahar port in Iran, which is being developed by India, thereby ending the waiver from 2018 during President Trump's first term. The sanctions regime on the strategically located port will come into effect from the 29th of September, just a few days from now. While this move is targeted to contain Iran, it will adversely impact India as well. So why is the US revoking this sanction? How will it impact Indian exports? And how will this impact India's regional power play? The Chabahar Port waiver of 2018 allowed India and other countries to continue operations and development at Iran's strategic port without facing US penalties. This favor was issued under the Iran Freedom and Counter-Proliferation Act, or the IFCA, and was justified on the grounds of supporting Afghanistan's reconstruction and economic development. The Chabahar is the easiest way for large-scale import of goods into Afghanistan via Iran, since Pakistan often creates hurdles due to its border dispute with the Afghans. But now President Trump plans to end this waiver in just a few days in an attempt to put pressure on Iran by revoking all sanction exemptions that could benefit Tehran economically. Now, the US administration has taken these steps to address Iran's nuclear ambitions, missile programs, and regional activities by its proxies from Yemen to Iraq, Syria, and Lebanon. But this not only complicates India's ability to proceed with its own port development plans without facing US sanctions, but also jeopardizes India's strategic objectives of enhancing regional connectivity and trade with not just Afghanistan but Central Asian countries as well. After this announcement, there are chances that tensions may further escalate, as according to a press note by the US Department of State, anyone operating, financing, or servicing the port after 29th of September will face the same treasury restrictions as other Iranian entities. A national security presidential memorandum signed by President Trump stated, "The Secretary of State shall modify or rescind sanctions waivers, particularly those that provide Iran any degree of economic or financial relief, including those related to Iran's Chabahar Port project." Unquote. It seems there's a lot at stake ahead of a possible meeting between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Trump and their summit next month. In their recent call, the US President had emphasized talks on fair trade practices, immigration policies, and defense cooperation. The strategic Chabahar port is situated at the mouth of the Gulf of Oman. It came into being in the 1970s, though the first phase of the port was opened in 1983 during the Iran-Iraq War. The strategic reason behind the construction of this port was to provide Iran with its only oceanic port on the Gulf of Oman, allowing trade access beyond the Persian Gulf. This port reportedly gained logistical importance during the Iran-Iraq War as it offered safer maritime routes as well as connectivity between India, Iran, Afghanistan, and Central Asia. Chabahar Port literally provides access to landlocked Afghanistan and Central Asia region, which is why it is also called the Golden Gate. But why is it important for India, and why has India been involved in developing and upgrading this port since the early 2000s? India's interest in this port stems from the fact that it can easily bypass the hostile country of Pakistan and continue to access Afghanistan and Central Asia. India's involvement in the Chabahar port is of great importance for both trade and geopolitics, and the recent move by Trump to revoke sanctions waiver has significant implications for India. New Delhi has invested heavily in developing the port, including $120 million investment by India Ports Global Limited and $250 million line of credit to Iran to improve infrastructure. India also signed a 10-year agreement with Iran in 2022, which assigned India the responsibility to equip and operate this port and allow India Ports Global Private Limited to manage and operate a terminal at Chabahar. So India has been developing and operating the Shahid Beheshti terminal at Chabahar, investing around $370 million to use it. Now, the port also enhances India's maritime presence in the Indian Ocean region and serves as a counterbalance to China-backed Pakistan's Gwadar port in Balochistan, which is part of the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, or the CPEC. Chabahar thus represents not just a trade asset, but a geopolitical tool to counterbalance Pakistan and Chinese influence in the region. The port has also facilitated the supply of Indian vaccines to the world during the COVID-19 pandemic. According to Indian Express report, till now, a total of 2.5 million tons of wheat, 2,000 tons of pulses have been transshipped from India to Afghanistan through the Chabahar port. In 2021, India supplied 40,000 liters of environment-friendly pesticide to Iran to fight locust menace through the same port. With the United States now revoking the sanctions waiver under maximum pressure policy on Iran, Indian companies involved in the port's operations now face the risk of these sanctions. This could disrupt India's trade routes to landlocked Afghanistan and beyond to Central Asia, reduce its influence in the region, and weaken its connectivity plans through the international North-South transport corridor. The move also complicates India's balancing act between maintaining good US relations and sustaining ties with Iran. Overall, the sanctions could stall India's investments and undermine its efforts to counter competing Chinese initiatives and regional connectivity ambitions. Leave a comment with your opinion, hit the like button, and subscribe to Inconnect News.